Oh, thank you. So we are talking about, we talked about this yesterday with thinking and problem solving obstacles, and that's what we're going to say. We're going to be thinking like we have to solve problems, but sometimes our brain gets in the way of solving those problems. And at the end of class today, we're doing some brain teasers to see if your brain is getting in the way of solving like riddles and things like that. So we talked about confirmation bias yesterday, and okay, so there's another thing that gets in the way of us solving a problem, and that's fixation. We sometimes cannot see a problem from a fresh perspective. We almost need like new eyes on the problem to see how we solve the problem. So here is a little riddle, I guess, for you, a little problem. It's how do you arrange these 6 matches to form 4 equilateral triangles, and you cannot break the matches, and you're using all of the matches. Anyone?
I know how to do it.
You can. Click twice too many times. Did you see the answer? No. Okay. You don't. You quiet. You can be quiet too. So she's coughing.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, I bet I know.
I think I did on the board. 6 matches.
I can sketch it.
But you saw the answer.
I don't.
You did see the answer.
No.
Okay.
I just was thinking about it. I don't think it's that hard.
Okay. Consider. Okay. Right?
Can do it.
Like those.
Yeah, I can do it.
Those are not going to be equilateral triangles. What Grace just did was like a common thing that people do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But
Oh, sorry.
That is not 6 equilateral triangles because this length of a triangle is half a match. It has to be the full match. Okay, great. You want to come up here?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I think I got it. Okay.
So using all 6 matches, grab a marker. Okay.
So first, I just want to start with like a basic triangle. Right?
So that's 3 matches right there.
3 matches. Okay. And then at that point, just want to like see hard to draw 3D, but like this.
Okay, so you're drawing a 3D thing.
Like connect to the 3 points in the middle. So it's like that. This doesn't exactly like include.
Yeah.
It's like a perspective.
Yes, you're looking down at the top.
Yeah, just need like a prism.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. So this is here's a sticker. Great. Open the right. You get.
I didn't think through it.
Yeah, most people don't. Most people can't see it from a fresh perspective. They're too busy like drawing lines on their paper and only looking at a 2D object when really it's 3D. So it's 1, 2, 3 matches make the base, and that's 1 triangle. But then you take the 4th, 5th, and 6th match and make like a pyramid. So you've got 3 sides of triangles, and then the bottom base as the 4th triangle. So now I probably should have like whatever. It's right here. There. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if now I gave you a new problem, you would probably be able to solve it if the answer was 3D, because Gray kind of broke the barrier of like, oh, now answers could be in 3D. And so now you could probably solve a 3D problem because it's kind of been done already. And so if I gave you another example where the solution would be 3D, you would probably succeed because now you have a mental set. And the definition of a mental set is repeating solutions that worked in the past. Repeating solutions that have worked in the past is a mental set. So every year, oh, by the way, here's fixation. And I got my little matches. Every year, my husband tells a story about me going to Mackinac Island and riding a bike and falling off the bike.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so here's my version. I don't know if you have ever been to Mackinac Island. It's like a. Thank you. Oh, she's not. Oh, Melanie, move. Okay, there you are. Okay. I don't, can you see this picture? No. I didn't know it really. Yes. Okay, so this was, I want to say like a long time ago. It was before my newborn. It was like 8 years, okay. And we go to Mackinac Island, because we go to Michigan every summer. And one summer we're like, let's go all the way up to North Michigan, because, you know, you've got like the mitten and like the scarf. So we're like, let's go up. There's like a little island in Lake Superior, I think, where there's a little island, and it's a, why do y'all talk about history? It's like there's a battle there, wasn't it? Yeah. Like he brings the story up for a reason in class.
It was not important enough for Moyer to talk about it. So,
Oh, that's right, because there's a whole bunch of Moyer kids in here.
so it probably wasn't.
I don't remember why.
I don't remember what you said.
There's a battle, I think in the Civil War,
But like,
that went up. Maybe it was Civil War. There's a battle.
I don't think they fought this morning.
Well, there's other people. Okay, anyway.
I think it was Richmond.
And so we go up there, and it's a 7-mile around. I think it's one of those 7-mile around island, and there's no cars. It is only horses and bikes. Those are the only two forms of transportation. And like there's like a town center where it's basically like gift shops everywhere. It's a tourist stop of like, you know, fudge and ice cream, and there's like a couple restaurants. But then you like rent bikes or like a horse and like a carriage, and then you go around the entire island where there is nothing. It's like trees and forests and caves and rocks and nothing all around. What? Yes, but it's like people that like work there year round. But it's not anyone like permanent home where it's like, I mean, they work there to like, okay. So I, at this point, had not been on a bike in, I want to say 10 years, because who rides a bike? I guess there are people that
people in Creekside.
Okay, fine. I hadn't even owned a bike in a very, very long time. And so, like, I was not all that confident on a bike, so I begged and begged for, like, can we get a helmet? And he's like, don't be a loser, you're not wearing a helmet. And I was like, okay, fine, but I don't want to ride my own bike. Can we get a tandem bike? And he was like, fine. And so here we are on a tandem bike. I'm in the back part of the tandem's like 30 minutes. And then he's on the front. And I don't know if you can tell, it's mile 0 out of like 8. So I'm great.
That's the beginning.
That's the beginning. This is, I'm happy. I'm not bleeding. Nothing's broken. My glasses are still on my face and not like lost in the bush. And my pants are not like ripped. Okay, so around mile 2, I get pretty cocky because I'm all like, look at me riding a tandem bike. This is easy. And so his parents were actually with us, and they were like really fit and like avid like bike riders and stuff. And so they had their own bikes. And I was like, you know what? Can I borrow like your mom's bike and then she get on the tandem and I can ride for a little bit by myself? And he's like, okay. So that's around mile 2. And so like mile like 2.12 or something, I'm like going on the bike by myself, and I am like zooming. I'm changing gears. I'm like going real fast. At one point, I remember saying, like I like went really, really fast past them. And at one point, I was like, "Wee, look at me." I said, "Wee," all of it. And then I see like the road like is like starting to turn, but I'm too busy like clicking gears, and I need to slow down. Well, I don't know if you know this. There are 2 types of brakes on a bike.
Yeah.
There's like the back.
There's like there's the handle brake. Or the back, like you start pedaling backwards, and that's the brake. Well, my childhood bike had handle brakes.
You did tell.
I knew, because I got on the bike, and I even tested it, I drove like a little circle, and I tested, and I was like, okay, I got this. But here's the thing, for like all these years of muscle memory, I have been doing this to stop. And so in a moment of stress, when I see that the road is turning, and there's like bushes and trees ahead, I go straight to solutions that worked in the past. This is how I slow down. Well, I reach, I grasp, but there's nothing there but air. And so at this point, I'm like, well, it's been a good 20-something years. Like this is the end of my life. And so I just brace for impact. I don't make a sound. I don't scream. I don't yell. I don't say anything, which is weird from their perspective because I just don't know. And so like I go there like, oh my god. Yeah, I go through my front. I turn my front tire so my front tire doesn't get it. There's like a little basket. And I hit a tree, like a pine tree. My whole body goes like up. And my head and my feet are here up against the bark of the tree, and then I just slide down, landing in a bush. So,
It's poison.
well, what's like terrifying is like maybe 10 feet before that, it was a cliff. Because we're on an island in like
We got like a far cliff?
What?
Like deep, like a far cliff?
Like as in 50 feet of rocks. And then of just like rocks. So that was fun. But that was like mile 2.5. So then I had to just suck it up and get back on the bike. And I refused to pedal for the rest of the way. I just put my feet up and like the feet. Yeah.
Mr. Taylor making fun of you?
Oh, they all ran to make sure that I was okay. And as soon as they realized that I was not dead, he laughed so hard that he fell on the ground and cried. And his mom was the same way. Like they give the 6 of humor.
I feel like I would enjoy the video of him laughing.
I
What if
wanted
the
to
video
use
keeps
Taylor
laughing?
laughing.
Yes. I was so mad. Like he couldn't. Like just like complete like spasms of laughter. And his stepdad was an ENT like in his earlier years, so he was like, "Is your leg broken?" Which it almost was. Like I had a bruise. This was in August, or no, June, and I had a bruise this big until the first day of school on my leg. The entire leg was black. But I got a piece of fudge when I got back into town. So that's the thing. You repeat solutions that work in the past, even if it's not the right solution. But you're like, this has worked, so it's going to continue to work. And that's a problem that we have. If we're trying to solve a problem, I could easily have just pedaled in reverse and been fine. And not lost my glasses, or torn my pants, or scraped up my face. It's fine. And like got like bark burn on my back. It was a good day. I'm never going back there. And but all I have to do is this. All I have to do was just pedal backwards. But since I repeated solutions that worked in the past, which was this, it did not work for me. I did not get to solve a problem because I had only had this mental set that I got stuck in. And you'd think that repeating solutions working in the past would be best. Like, hey, it's worked, but it doesn't work all the time and can really be an obstacle in our problem solving. So, yes.
That happens with me kind of too. Like I remember it was the opposite of like when I was riding a bike. It was bigger than what I was usually used to.
Yeah.
And I was so used to like paddling backwards, like slowing down. But with it wasn't a bike like that. It was the handle brakes, and with the handle brakes, like when you try to back pedal, like it just keeps on going.
Yes, and then the chain gets all like messed up.
So like I was freaking out, and I tried to back pedal, and then it was like. And I was like, oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah. There was like, that story is like, we're all alive and it's funny and everything. But there was another story of, it was during the Korean War, it was this guy who was a paratrooper, he was paratrooping into Korea, and he had made like 1,000, whatever. He had made 1,000 jumps out of a plane at this point. He was like not a beginner in terms of he knew it. They can jump, or like, what do you call it? Being a paratrooper. Like whatever that action is. And so he is told, like, this is our last jump of like the day. This is a left-handed parachute. And he's told this. The cord is on the left. But he, based on like years and years and years of mental of muscle memory of pulling at the right, he forgot in the moment of stress to pull on the left. And so he fell like 8,000 feet to his death.
Wait,
He didn't realize the whole time. They said when he found his body that his right hand had clawed so much into his uniform that it ripped the uniform, and there was claw marks in his chest and his muscles. Like he had ripped so far deep down into the bone, and that he didn't even like
Think of like doing
think, because a moment of stress, you only do what you know, and you're all like, you don't stop and think, okay, what is another solution that I could do? You just do whatever you have known, and he died.
That's so scary. It's sad.
Yeah, it is really sad, but it's like,
It also makes me not trust myself.
right, you think, you're like, I know what I'm doing.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
this guy knew what he was doing.
I feel like I'd be
Imagine-
like, oh
Say
shit.
like that for me.
Wait, I
What? You realize it's something like
You would think.
8,000. Just like it's
Like,
really just a
With
simple
all that
thing.
time though, I think you'd like try.
It's not,
all your
it's
way.
not, it's like, it's
You're
only like
screaming, you're
18
thinking.
seconds or something. That's not a long time. And only in the first like 10 seconds are you actively like pulling the cord. After that, it's
I
like, if
feel
you
like
pull
if
the
you
cord, they're gonna
go
die.
like this and you don't feel it.
You would think, but everyone's all like, I would conform, and I would shock him all the way to death, and I would pull the zip cord on the left. Like everyone says, well, I would do this, but this guy was like a professional. I mean, that's his job, and he didn't for a split second think, I'm solving this problem wrong. Okay, so there's this other term called functional fixedness, and this is it's not fixation. Fixation was like not seeing it from a clear perspective. But functional fixedness is when you can use objects. No, sorry. Functional fixedness is when you forget to use objects for anything other than its intended purpose. It's like you can only use this keyboard as a keyboard. You can only use this lanyard to hold keys. It's like you only use objects for its intended purpose. A lot of problems can be solved if you use objects for something besides its purpose. If you can use this water bottle as like a paper holder, or you can use this like lanyard as, what else can you use this lanyard for? To trip somebody or whatever. Like, so think about Ariel. Ariel did not have functional fixedness. She was using a fork for something other than its purpose. Those of you that
That's
remember.
because the seagulls told
The
me.
seagull, the stupid skull, I guess, skull, yeah. What was she using this fork for?
Like a hair dryer.
Yeah, what was
Dingle hopper.
Dingle hopper. Okay. Yeah, so functional fixedness is when you forget that your objects can be used for something other than its purpose. So let's say that you guys are tired, but you don't have a blanket or a pillow. What can you use? You can use a jacket as a pillow or a blanket. You can use your backpack as a pillow. I've seen half of y'all in the morning before school. Ooh, I don't know how y'all trust people. Like, I'm gonna fall asleep next to my things in the hallway. It's like, I could easily steal from you.
So you wake up, you see it staying.
So what can you do with the following objects? What can you do with a paper clip besides clip paper? Pick a lock. You can pick a lock. Have you ever seen like a kid movie? They always like pick a lock.
What's Bobby called?
One time I locked my sister.
Wow.
No, not on purpose. You know how some for handles, like they have the little
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I wonder if I stick this paper clip in, if it'll lock. And it
But that's not
didn't.
accidental. That is just like I didn't know I could do it,
I
and I
I
could.
thought I would be able to unlock her.
Oh.
Wait, was
Isn't
she,
she in there?
isn't she
with, like,
in the
lock?
side?
There wasn't a lock on that side either. It
Oh.
was just a.
Why would they put that in like a kid's
I don't
room?
know.
Oh, yeah, no, like some don't have locks on
Yeah.
their doors because parents are awful and don't want their kids to lock their doors.
She really went halfway making the lock and then just gave up.
She's okay now.
Well, okay.
She's still alive. She's not locked in that room.
Given airlifting
She's
supplies in the last couple of weeks,
You have
she's
to
okay.
the tiny little sliver at the door. You have to like.
Like the Berlin lock.
All food has to be delivered under tortillas mostly. Okay, what about a pen?
It's a shame.
Paper.
A shank. Oh, okay.
Wow. I cannot believe you thought of
What is
that.
it?
Put your hair into it.
Yeah, like I used to be able to put when my hair was longer. I used to be able to like put my hair in a bun and then like poof, pin, or just to hold it in the bun. Some people have used it as like to make a trachea, like someone's choking or something, and they have a
Oh, I saw that in a song.
and then like, oh my god, I've seen it, presented. But yeah, or if you're a MacGyver, you can make a mom. MacGyver is a really old reference that you probably don't know.
No,
Okay.
remake.
There was a remake.
Yeah, that
Nice. Yeah, MacGyver was always like,
Except it
oh,
doesn't
there's 15
nice.
seconds left on the bomb. I only have a string and a piece of gum. And then somehow he like makes like a bomb out of that. He's all like,
You had a gun out of wine bottles.
yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so I have some
What's that there?
some riddles. I don't want to give you the answer. I'm gonna let you stew in uncomfortable thinking for about a day. If you know it, I'll tell you if you're right.
wait for a day. No, we're just gonna go.
No, I want you to not. Can you just not be a millennial for like a second?
No.
Hey, we're not
We're not
millennials.
Okay, sorry. What are you, Gen X?
Gen
Yeah.
Z.
Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're gonna. Word of the plan.
You know, your
So,
generation
okay.
is ruining housing markets.
Obviously, you don't try this out. Imagine that when you die, you find yourself in a room with two doors. One leading to eternal paradise and the other one to eternal damnation. You can choose which door to walk through, but the trouble is that the doors are unmarked. Each door has a guard, and you can ask each guard one yes or no question. It's like the same question. You ask them one same question to both guards before you make your choice. One of the two guards will always answer truthfully, and the other guard will always lie. Unfortunately, there's no way of knowing which guard is which. What question should you ask one of the guards, or either, to ensure that you wind up in paradise? Do not assume that the one that is truthful is in front of paradise. The one that's truthful could be in front of the door that leads to damnation.
You should just ask when you go like those.
So, but that doesn't even tell you which door is the way. And that's not a yes or no
I
question.
know
But
it.
he always lies.
I like.
But that doesn't tell you which door that they're guarding. The liar knows what you
Oh.
Yeah, so you have one question that has to reveal which door leads which place.
Well, is there a roof in the room?
What, Madeline, what?
Is there a roof in the room?
There is no roof in the room. I mean, there is a roof, but it's like, it's a holy roof. You can't really see.
Oh.
And you can be like, peek, open the door, and it's like the flames are like. No.
Come on the right track and just trying to work out the logic.
Yes. Yeah, because it's like when people start.
It is actually.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
You asked something about, is this like the room, or are you lying?
No, but the liar guard would be like, no. Right, and so it's like, okay, now I just still don't know who is telling the truth and who's lying, and then which door leads to which, whatever. We'll come back.
Wait, no.
I've heard it before, it's not mad, I don't remember.
Yeah, I heard it like really long time ago.
If anyone's seen the movie Labyrinth,
Yeah, she asked the two guards on the side.
yeah. Okay, new brain teaser. This one's easier. How do you connect these 9 dots with 4 straight lines, never picking them? Okay. Give us a hint.
You extend past the dots.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's a really straight up hint. Usually people say like, we think it's like the bones. But yes! Thanks. Anyone want to try?
Wait, what are you supposed to do?
Oh, you didn't hear him? Nothing.
No, I heard him.
Oh.
I didn't.
You're supposed to 4 straight lines without picking up your pencil, connect all 9 dots. That's it. 4 straight lines, connect 9 dots, don't pick up your pencil.
Yeah.
You can do it?
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Oh, I quit. Oh,
One, two,
Wait.
three. Oh. So.
That's how you do it.
You didn't do it. You're so
Let's
close.
start at a different point.
Yes. Can you start at a different point?
because I did it this morning, and I did exactly what you did, because I want to make sure that other guys do it. There you go. Oh, looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thanks.
Oh, how much time we got? Oh, we've got plenty. This is what I have.
No, I like this the one.
I won't come back to the group one, but this one I have like, teachers, what do teachers call them? Manipulative, is when you actually like put your hands on things. Okay, there are 3 lambs and 3 wolves on the left bank of the river. There's a rowboat on the left bank of the river that can carry up to 2 animals at a time. One for you, one for Anna. You. Open up your little animal pack.
Quick question. So on the Eternal one, you asked both guards the same question, they both gave you an answer?
Yes.
I know how to do it. Wait,
Okay.
yeah, I know how to do it.
One's lying and one's truthful.
Yes.
Bro,
Tell me something.
so you gotta wait a second, is if I were to ask.
Wait, so we only get to ask one question?
It's the
Yes.
same question as asked to both. If this is the right door to go through, what would you say? And then you just do the opposite of whatever he tells you.
Do you look at it?
I've known this riddle for a long time,
Wait,
like I
what
know
do
a
you
different
do?
variation of it, but like,
Yeah, there's different, like,
There's like, it's like
It's the
the
same
toss, the
concept.
chicken.
Wait, here's what you do.
so you walk up to one of the guards and be like, if I were to ask the other guard whether or not this was the right door, what would he say? And then you just do the opposite of whatever he says, because if it's the truthful guard, then he'll tell you what the lying guard would say, and if the truthful guard was in front of the good door, then the lying guard would say that it's the wrong one to go through. But if you do the opposite, that means you go through it, you're in the good door. And if it's the lying guard, vice versa.
You know, I just wouldn't think about it, I just go through one door.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would be like, sure.
okay, did you follow him?
No.
I know the answer, and that was hard to follow, like, the beginning.
Yeah, that was hard to
good.
follow, but
And then,
I
okay,
get the law.
so here's 2 doors.
Door.
You point to any of the doors, it wouldn't matter. And then you say, according to the other guard, or what was the other guard? According to the other guard, does this door lead to paradise? Whatever answer you get will be wrong. So if you're talking to the truthful guard, well, according to the other guard's a liar. So the truthful guard will tell you the lying guard's lie. But if it's the lying guard you're talking to, he'll say the opposite of what the truthful guard will say, which is the lie. So if they say it does, you know it doesn't. If they say it doesn't, you know it does.
Okay, so-
That's it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was
That's much better than you.
No. Teacher, I explained for a living. Hey,
Of course, we were all like, I don't actually still know.
okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to open up your little packet of animals and make sure you have 3 sheep and 3 wolves. And I want you to put on the left side of your desk. I want you to clear off your desk. Clear off your desk. And put everything on the left side of your desk. Oh, which means I can totally stop this. Hey, of your kids that missed the people, tell me about this. We're having a blast. Okay.
No.